Hello and welcome to another episode of 7 Minutes of Precision. Today we welcome back Vanja Krtolica to the show, the owner and CEO of Apex Optics. Vanja, welcome back to the show.
Awesome. Thanks, Sheree, for having me.
How are you doing?
Good. Thanks. Yeah. How about yourself?
Yeah, very well, very well. We're recording this episode 3 weeks before the Apex match in Calgary, so I'm pretty sure you have a lot of things in your hands.
Yes. Yeah. We've been at the site last 2 days in a row and getting things planned out and getting the course of fire laid out a little bit, preliminary stuff before we start pounding T-posts into the ground. Yeah, it's been good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very hard to talk to you at the match. I know you're busy, so I wanted to steal a few minutes from your time before the match to have a little bit of a chat.
Of course.
So let's start with the match. You were telling me before we start recording that you did change the venue that we were shooting at. So last time we were shooting in a land in the last year. Next year we're changing the land, but also in the same area, right?
Yeah, it's in the same area. It's literally like 10 minutes away from where we were. So our rancher, the landowner that we work with, that let us use the land last year, acquired some new land at the end of last year, kind of towards the fall. And so he gave me a heads up, like, hey, this would be a really pretty cool place to host a match if you guys are wanting to do it again with us. And absolutely. So I went and toured it with him and his son, and it was really epic and cool. So I was like, okay, this is definitely going to work. The match location last year was a really big hit with everybody who came and shot the match. They thought it was awesome. They thought it was super fun. And the way we laid it out with the kind of the two different types of matches, almost the 2-in-1 that we kind of talked about last year, ended up being a really big hit with everybody. And they said it was the most fun they've had in a long time shooting a PRS match. So we're definitely taking that feedback and we're kind of applying it to this new location because we have the same kind of opportunity to do, kind of throw the same style of match and put it together. So yeah, we kind of have a flat area again that we're going to be shooting down in the meadow, and then another upper area that's up the hill, and we're going to make some people do a little bit of climbing, not too bad. We'll be shuttling folks with side-by-sides as well, not down to the bottom of the hill, but there will be a little bit of an incline to contend with. So, those battle buggies might not be the best idea for this kind of match. But
Okay.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, lots of elevation, lots of different pans and swings, and we're going to make it a fun course of fire again. And, we're going to keep a lot of the things that worked really well last year. We're going to add a couple of new things, and we have some new props as well and some new things. So we're trying to keep it fresh every single year and not let it get stale. But if it works out really well this year, I think this will probably be the match location for the next couple of years. And then we have some other opportunities to switch things up as well there. So,
Are you also bringing the military vehicles that you brought the last time as props to shoot off of?
I don't think we'll be using those this year. So we have some heavy machinery that we have access to as well. So some excavators and some buckets and stuff like that we'll be introducing. The military stuff, while it is cool, it does make it a little bit more difficult to kind of have to use as a prop. So last year it was good, but I think this year we're gonna do a couple of different things. So.
Okay, cool. And is the location also, if you recall, the first year we had a little bit of problem with grass. It was tall grass. It was really hard to find and spot misses. It was also extremely hard to find your brass after you shoot your stage. So are we having something similar or it's a little bit different?
No, it's going to be fairly similar to last year, where we're going to go through and we'll make sure that we kind of mow around the actual shooting prop locations. So it should be a lot easier to find your brass. We'll whippersnip all that. As far as the locations themselves, the targets, all the targets, none of them are going to be skylined. We're going to make sure that there's a nice backstop, or at least you'll be able to see from where you're shooting, or if you're spotting from behind, you'll be able to see where the bullets are going and whether you're missing left or right, or at least get some sort of indication. Now, we have had a lot of rain in Calgary this last week or a couple of weeks. We're expecting 55 millimeters this weekend of rain in the area. And then it's going to get hot, which is the same thing that kind of happened last year. Sorry, the year before last, in the first year that we did the match. So we're going to be fairly cognizant of that when we're setting up our targets, and just to make sure that there's really good target placement for just observability, right? Just so you can spot your misses and make corrections. But we're also going to be doing a couple of different things to kind of compensate for that, where Pretty much every first target in the engagement order is going to be an oversized target. So
Mm-hmm.
from the first position, you're going to be able to get on plate fairly easily unless you're way off on your wind call. But generally speaking, I'd say 90% of the people will be able to get a first round impact on pretty much everything. And that
Mm-hmm.
ensures a couple of different things. One, that you're able to really get on plate and get a read of how the plate moved and where you impacted, whether you need to add more wind or subtract more wind.
Mm-hmm.
Or and it's also going to present an opportunity for a lot of the kind of the mid pack shooters and people who are first time shooters shooting some of these matches to be able to get some points on the board, right? So
Yeah.
then you can kind of make your adjustments once you get on plate and correct your wind call. Then you can, once you get to some of the more smaller and more challenging targets, then I think that'll be a good way to go. So I think we're going to be doing a lot of that as well, just to make sure that people get on plate and get some impacts and also be able to make a good correction on wind.
Yeah, it's pretty good to have an impact, see how your target moves, and then you're able to gauge your wind that you put in your stage.
Exactly. And the wind out there is going to be fairly similar to what it was doing last year. It's going to be either, we're kind of in the bottom of two valleys and in between
Mm-hmm.
kind of two big hills and mini mountains. So the wind is generally going to come from in behind. So it's going to be a tailwind, but it also tends to come north to south. So you're going to have some left to right wind to contend with as well. And being a valley, it's going to do what it's going to do. So it'll be, we'll account for that as far as, the planning for target sizes and all that.
So great. Now we're also giving the wind direction in the podcast, so people who are coming to shoot already have a heads up of what's happening over there.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it's been doing for the last couple of weeks that we've been out there. I make no promises that it's going to stay that way. But,
Totally. So the registration is still open for the match?
yeah, as of right now, at time of recording, I think we have 2 spots left. And then we're
Okay.
pretty close to being sold out.
All right. So if you guys didn't register, you'll see the link of the match down in the description. It's impact scoring. So you'll see down in the description. There's 2 spots left. If you can grab them, I'll see you there.
Yeah, perfect.
Hey guys, real quick before we get back to the podcast, I wanted to tell you about our giveaway. So on June 26th, we'll be given an OptiLock tripod plate with the Arca section and all the hardware that comes with it. If you'd like to participate, head to our Facebook or Instagram pages. The links will be down in the description, and look for the giveaway post. It will be pinned on our Instagram page. Follow the steps for your chance to win. Now, let's get back to the podcast. So let's go to the next topic we wanted to discuss. I wanted to talk a little bit about the new Synergy Binos that you introduced.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've got the pre-production prototypes here, sitting here. We've been using them during match setup and testing. I've shot 2 PRS matches with it already.
Mm-hmm.
Had them in my squads. Nobody can believe how fast they are. So we're really excited about that kind of feedback. And we're doing things that nobody else is doing, as far as an operating system in the binoculars that's designed for the way modern people shoot and modern competition shooters use their equipment. So in the binos themselves, we have an NRL Hunter mode, basically, which we call freestyle. So it's good for NRL Hunter or pursuit matches. We have a dedicated team mode, which allows you to do a couple of different things. So it gives you a different reticle for engaging targets with a laser and also spotting for corrections in the same UI. Okay. So that's really cool. And then it allows for a couple of things, like to be able to do a quick switch of a profile. So you can hold down like the down button and it switches into your partner's shooting profile when you're spotting for them, and you can switch your profile quickly without having to navigate menus or anything else.
And so your partner has his own binos, and you can just sync both programs, so you can actually have his correction in your binos?
Well, no, really. I mean, you could do that, but we're assuming that you're running with one set of binos for a team. So let's say you can have each other's profile set up. You have the gun profile set up in his binoculars and his or hers set up in your binos, so you can switch between a primary and secondary profile really quickly. So that's all done through the Quantum app, through AB Quantum, and you can just designate a primary and a secondary profile right in the binoculars as soon as you synchronize your gun profiles. So that's a really cool feature that was actually requested by some users, and we thought that was worthwhile to put in. Then there's also dedicated reticle mode in there as well, which is called the ghost reticle, which is kind of not there. That's what's the ghost. You literally just hold one button down and it pops the reticle on, and you can measure targets, you can spot impacts, you can measure mover speeds. It'll give
Okay.
you a lead calculation based off the range that you range the target and your ballistic profile. And I actually used that at the MDT Midsummer Madness and was able to get a little bit more accurate mover speed than what was published in the matchbook, and was able to get like 7 impacts on it. So that was really cool. So yeah, we're really excited about all the features that we've put in there.
So let's go back a little bit to the profiles. You can save up to 2 different profiles, or you can actually save more.
You can actually save a total of 30 profiles in the Binos.
Wow. Okay. Great.
So, which is
And
the
then,
most, I think, in the industry right now. So 30 profiles in the Binos, and then you select which 2 you want in the quick switch mode.
Oh, so you have 30 profiles, but you select the 2 that you're going to be shooting with your teammate, so you're able to switch between them through the quick selection or the quick selection button.
Exactly. So you just hold one button down, and it auto switches between the first and the second profile, which is basically like, okay, I have my primary profile in my Binos. That's my gun that I'm using for that weekend. And then you select your secondary profile, which is your partner's profile. And then you can switch between them back and forth.
Okay. And you did say there's an NRL mode in the beginning.
Yes. So there's a PRS mode, which allows you to upload an entire matchbook into your Binos. So stages 1 through 20, let's call it. And it has every single target definition, just like you would define your sectors in the Kestrel or in the AB Quantum app. So you can define your entire match in the app and upload it right to the Binos. So that way you have every single stage, every single target, targets 1 through 5 or however many there are, and you can actually get, let's call it in PRS mode, you can get to your prop and you can tag each target, captures target direction of fire. You set the wind direction based on the first target, and then it auto corrects based on as you tag each of the additional targets in the order, and you can see what your wind call and how it adjusts based off of where the wind is coming from, because it has an internal inclinometer, compass, most advanced digital compass ever that hardly needs calibration. You calibrate it once and it holds. And then it's got the full environmental sensor suite as well. The only thing it can do for you is measure your wind. But it'll make all the wind adjustments based off how you tag the wind on the first target. And then
weather data is synced through your Kestrel weather data, or does it?
No, it saves everything right in here. It captures it all and stores it. And you can actually go back and recall it. And you can cycle back through the targets. You're like, oh yeah, what was target 2? And you can literally just turn it back on and go stage 4, target 2, bam, 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 and you can go cycle through and see what all your calls are if you forgot to write it down on your dope card or something. Now the cool thing with that too is that it actually automatically pairs. It'll be compatible with the Calypso Mini AB wind meter. So if you have that on your station, on your TAC table, it'll just talks over Bluetooth low power, and they just constantly synchronize with each other, and it's reading in the wind bracket at any given time. So if the wind is, starting out at 4 miles an hour and going up to 8, it'll give you that 4 to 8 bracket. The Binos automatically calculate that as you're tagging each target. So.
Okay. And maybe we went through this quickly, but what's the magnification in the Binos that are offered?
So it's a 12 power with a 50 millimeter objective lens. So these are 12 by 50. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And that's the only magnification that's being offered at the moment. Right
now, that'll be the only one. We're contemplating a 10 power and a 15 power and a 50 millimeter as well. So we'll see how that goes a little bit later. But right now, we feel a 12 by 50 is probably the best all around for an LRF Bino. Going back to the NRL Hunter mode, so it's similar to the PRS. There's no preset matchbook, right? You kind of show up to an NRL Hunter stage or a pursuit stage, and we call that a freestyle match. So what that really is going to do is it's going to be the exact same behavior. You're going to be able to cycle through your target array with the up and down buttons. So go target 1, click, target 2, click as you engage each one. So as you find your targets in a hunter style match or a pursuit style match, you'll be able to do the exact same thing that you do in a PRS match, but it's just that there's no preset stages, right? So the cool thing is as you tag each target in freestyle mode, the Bino doesn't shut off. So it stays on for 4 minutes in individual user mode, and in team mode, it stays on for 6 minutes. So if you put your Binos away and then you want to go back, oh yeah, I forgot to write down the dope for target number 3, you just go cycle through and get to target 3, get your dope, write it down or remember it, and then go shoot that target. So we're going to try to think about every small angle. Go ahead.
It's saving each target that you lace through your your stage, and it stays on for the full time of the stage, whether it's 4 or 6 minutes.
Correct.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So as
Okay.
each of the targets that you lays, it's remembering and it's storing the azimuth, so the direction of fire, and it's storing the inclination, so the angle of attack. You can have the binoculars in line of sight mode, or angle compensated mode, or yards, meters, like all that stuff, right? So all the standard things. But it captures all that and it stores that data in the binocular, so you can recall it later on, and then you can clear that data in between stages.
So after the 4 minutes, does it automatically erase all the data you collected, or you have to actually erase
No,
it
it
yourself?
doesn't erase the data, because just, maybe the bino, turns off and you want to recall that later on. It's like, yeah, what was that wind call, or what was that dope? Did I dial that wrong? Or did I write it down wrong? Right? If you're trying to analyze. So we want to keep the data in there all the time. And then it's up to the user to just go into the matchbook feature in the settings and go clear the data. Or you can keep it the same. You don't have to clear it. As soon as you like re-engage a target, like target one from last stage, and you go to the next stage, you forgot to clear the data. As soon as you go to target one and you relays the target, the new one, it's just going to overwrite the data. So,
okay. Now let's go a little bit to the reticle. So you have a reticle in there that you can turn on and off.
correct.
And if I understand correctly, when you turn it on, it's going to stay on until you manually turn it off. Correct.
Correct. That's right.
And
So
once
you can flip between the reticle and the laser HUD instantly with one another. So just by hitting different buttons.
okay, so it's not both at the same time, and it's too busy. So you either switch between the reticle or the LRF.
Correct. That's right. For the Ghost reticle and the LRF user interface, that's right. So we try to keep it as clean and unobstructed as possible. And in the actual LRF HUD user interface, you actually have the choice between, I think, 6 or 7 different aiming reticles. So there's like a dot, there's a crosshair, there's a hollowed out like center dot, empty crosshair, like a floating zero. There's a square, a circle, crosshair with circle and square, and all that stuff. So we give you as many combinations as you want for an aiming reticle as possible, and you can choose between those however many times you want. You can switch them, and then the same thing is true for the ranging reticle, for like the Ghost reticle. So we have 2 different options in both MIL and MOA. So there's a 2/10 MRAD option and a quarter MRAD or quarter MIL option. So and then the MOA equivalence of that as well. I think it goes up to 80 MOA. So
the reticle is a little bit similar to what you have in the Pro Summit. It's like an L or.
So no, we will probably be adding a version of that down the road with a firmware update, but we don't have that in there right now. So right now we have a couple of different reticles that we've tested. So this one is really, really good for spotting, like, and looking at, impacts. Most of the time, everybody's like in this sport, their elevation is really good. Generally speaking, it's usually the wind call that requires some sort of spotting and adjustment. So, but in going back to kind of the team mode for team shooters, and not just the 6 minutes and the quick switch, we actually give a different aiming option for a reticle in team mode. So what that does is it actually gives you 4 mils wide by 2 mils tall grid target that you can observe and call corrections for your teammate, while also being able to aim the laser and get the dope and all that good stuff. So we've actually we've had a lot of good feedback from some of our industry friends that shoot a lot of NRL Hunter style matches, and they're like, hey, we shoot a lot of team. I think this would be really cool to do. So we've kind of listened to their feedback and implemented some of those.
Okay, great. And the binders are already out or not yet?
Not yet. So the only set in existence right now is the one that I'm looking at right now. But but we have 6 more coming that are going to be the kind of the field demo units, and then we have a whole production version that's going to be ready to go in middle to late August is what we're expecting, the first production units. So if anybody has signed up for a pre-sale and they're on the tier 1 list, they'll be getting them middle to late August as we kind of initially expected. So we're kind of on schedule for that one. And then the full-on production is in October.
Is pre-sale still going or is closed?
Yes.
Pre-sale still going. Okay.
Pre-sale still going. If somebody wants to reserve their unit, I highly encourage them to do so. Because there's going to be a lot of demand for this product for sure.
Awesome. And what's the retail price at this for this product?
So right now the pre-sale price is 3,200 US, 4,500 Canadian. It's probably going to be
Okay.
going up by about $100 past that once we're done with the pre-sale. For the retail, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
about 3,300 US, probably 4,600 Canadian.
Okay. Great. Cool. Any other features that we didn't talk about?
Oh God, probably. The other part is we're actually working on. So on the bottom of the binos, there's right now I have one of our Infinity Arca mounts clamped on here, but there's going to be two spots to attach an Arca adapter, which we're going to be
Okay.
including a fairly basic one. We're also in the process
Mm-hmm.
of working with Really Right Stuff RRS on their mount, similar to what they've done for some other companies. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to be a fully adjustable Arca mount, and yeah, no, we're really excited about this release. It's going to be pretty epic, and we can't wait to get it in everybody's hands. We're hoping to have those first production units available at our match for demo, so we'll be
Okay.
doing a lot of content with them then.
So we're expecting to see some of those in the Apex match.
Yes, that's the
Awesome.
expectation right now. I actually had a meeting on it this morning, so hoping that happens.
Yeah, coordinating all these things sometimes is a little different.
Yeah.
Okay. And what is your vision after the Synergy? Do you have anything that you can share with us on what are you guys going to be working on after the Synergy, or not yet?
Yeah, no. So we could talk about it a little bit, and I'm not going to give away the farm, but you can expect a next generation competition rifle scope from us next. So that's
Okay.
been for the last year and a half, 2 years as well. So
Mm-hmm.
the trouble with us is that we're not an OEM anymore, right? Like we started out as using OEM partners to help us kind of modify some of their existing designs, and the last bunch of products. I mean, this has been a 4-year project. This one here.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing happens quickly when you're designing optical systems from scratch. So this one's going to be a really, I would say, how do I say this politely? I think
Without
it's
giving.
blow everything else out of the water. This rifle scope that we're
Okay.
working. So it's for PRS, NRL Hunter. It's going to be probably the go-to that people are is going to be very in demand because it's going to tick all the boxes, meet all the requirements, and be as good or better than the competition as far as glass quality. We're really aiming for that super tier 1 glass. We're looking to do better than what is the best right now. Let's put it that way.
Okay. I don't want to be pushing you in a corner, but would you be able to give a vague timeline for the pre-sale for that scope?
I don't know. I'm not sure if we're going to be offering a pre-sale on that one or not. We're still in development on it. I'm supposed to have a bunch of test optics to run through the paces here. I'm hoping late summer, early fall. And then, and then more than likely what we'll do is we'll start the production right away, and we'll have a stock up ready to sell probably I'm hoping by either Black Friday or January at SHOT Show. So that way we're going to have them
this year.
ready to go.
I mean, SHOT Show 27.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm glad to hear that. Cool. And what are other products that I know everybody knows Apex for, their binos and their scopes? What other products that you guys have been working on recently and you have introduced and maybe not everyone knows about?
Yeah, for sure. So we have a couple of things that we've kind of released this year. We have a short sunshade for the Rival X, which is good because the standard one I think is like 4 inches. So we actually shrunk it down to 2. So I've been running that one for the last year and really enjoy it because it doesn't go quite as long. But then we also have our competition rings. We have our Hunter rings as well that we've made in-house. And then we have our LPVO mount. We have the Infinity Bino ring, which is something that we made for our 1556 Pro 2s and our Summit Pro 2s as well, the 12x50s. So those really are super popular. We just want to be able to clamp right into the Bino, and it's custom made for our optics. It might fit some other brands as well, but we took the dimensions of our binos and the objective lenses and just made a ring that just slim fits right over top. You can still put it and fit it into a bino harness if you run one. It doesn't get in the way or snag up. So the Infinity Bino ring is on the website as well. And like I said, our Onyx competition 34 millimeter rings have been really popular. I've been running those for a little while. And the cool thing about those ones is that we designed we have a front replacement cap that actually
Hmm.
sits our RMR optics on top of it. So it's got an RMR mounting plate that replaces, and it perfectly co-witnesses against, and it sits kind of on top of the elevation turret of the rival. So,
Hmm.
you know, for with a lot of RMR mounting options for red dots for PRS rifles, a lot of time you have to have like a diving board and then a
Yeah.
Picatinny rail adapter, and then that sits on top. So it really rises, and it really like you have
Hmm.
to really like crane your head to see if you're on target with your red dot. So with ours, it's literally just you just kind of lift up and you can see right over top of the elevation turret. And it's perfect.
The Bino rings you said fits also the Pro Summit? Oh,
The
Summit Pro?
Infinity rings, yes.
Yeah.
So these
Okay.
fit the Summit 12 by 50. The Summit Pro is 1250s and Pro 2 1556s. So there's two different
Yeah.
sizes.
Those are pretty cool because probably it's a lot faster to, set your binos on your station and take it off compared to the, the quarter 20 screw that mounts
Exactly.
in the
So I run it
middle. Yeah.
exactly. So I run it on a tack table, and when I need to use the tack table for a stage, if I want to keep it on, I just unclick it and put it down in
Hmm.
my bag, and off I go. So super fast.
Awesome. All right. Van, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us in the show, and I'm looking forward to maybe talking with you after Shot Show about the new product that you're going to be introducing soon.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thanks, Sharif.